Three news stories for you viewers. Firstly, Baldera's party has issued a statement. It is saying that party's leader Eskinder Nega, who is in prison, was beaten there. His life is in danger. The party has issued a statement against PM Abiy Ahmed. Secondly, Oromo Liberation Army seems to be making preparations for TDF's advance towards Addis Ababa. We have received a confirmation now that in the areas surrounding Addis Ababa, Oromo Liberation Army is making large-scale recruitments. Over the past few weeks, thousands of new fighters have been recruited in those places which are close to Addis Ababa. We'll talk about that. Thirdly, almost 10 days ago, more than 10 days ago, Ethiopian National Defense Force and Amhara forces started a major offensive supported by air strikes, air power against Tigray Defense Force in Amhara region. Is this new offensive working? We'll have an analytical and objective look at this new offensive. Firstly, viewers, Baldera's party has issued a statement. Head of this party is in prison. Eskinder Nega is name of the leader. Since 2019, he has been in prison. The man has been in prison several times in the past as well. When TPLF was in power in EPRDF coalition, back then he was arrested several times. Then PM Abiy came and Naga received similar treatment. He is a journalist, an activist, and a politician as well. In 2019, he founded Baldera's party, a small party based basically in Addis Ababa. Party does not have a huge political following. Eskinder Nega was arrested after Hachalo's murder. We saw riots and violence after the murder of that Oromo singer. So far, we don't know about charges which have been leveled against Eskinder Nega. Other opposition leaders were also arrested after Hachalo's murder. Viewers, Jawar Muhammad, Baklegarba, main Oromo leaders who were challenging PM Abiy in 2019, they were also arrested. Hamza Burana, other Oromo leaders, they are also still in prison. And Jawar Muhammad, Baklegarba, they are saying that they have no trust in Ethiopian judicial system. They have requested several times that their proceedings in the courts should be postponed because they say that no relief is expected in Ethiopian court. So opposition is definitely under a crackdown. PM Abiy has been launching a crackdown against those parties which have been opposing him. OFC, OLF, two main political parties boycotted June 21st elections. Their leaders in prison. Eskinder Nega is in prison. He was reportedly beaten in prison. His attorney confirmed that he was subjected to beating in the prison. Party, Baldera's party, issued a statement. The party says that Eskinder Nega's life is in danger. If anything happens to him, Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, will be held responsible. Political space in Ethiopia is shrinking, no doubt about that, because that whoever criticizes a sitting government, he can be arrested, he can be imprisoned. We have seen journalists as well receiving similar treatment. Several have been arrested and several have been beaten as well. International journalists also they received threats and they were attacked as well. Lucy Casa's flat was attacked in Addis Ababa. Several other examples we have. Now, secondly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Army OLA is making preparations for TDF's advance towards Addis Ababa. Yesterday, we got confirmation that Oromo Liberation Army OLA has done some large scale new recruitments in those areas which are close to Addis Ababa. North Shore Zone, Southwest Shore Zone, East Shore Zone, West Shore Zone, four main zones of Oromia close to Addis Ababa are the places where reportedly Oromo Liberation Army has done large scale recruitments. In Jimma as well, we have heard that some new recruitments have been made. Thousands of new fighters have joined OLA in these areas. In North Shua, Oromia, we have heard about fighting between OLA and government forces. So OLA is trying to increase its presence in those areas which are close to Addis Ababa, which are close to Amhara Oromia border. TDF is so far in North Wollo. It has entered South Wollo. It is facing resistance in South Wollo. It's trying to take control of Dassi and Kambolcha. Once it goes past, if it did, once it goes past Dassi and Kambolcha, we could see hundreds, thousands of OLA fighters join a Tigray Defense Force on the ground. In a previous video, I told you about OLA training camps in Oromia Special Zone as well. We have received some reports that OLA has its supporters in Oromia Special Zone in North Shua Zone of Amhara region, and if TDF goes past Dassi and Kambolcha, we could see OLA join TDF, and it would lead to tremendous pressure upon Amhara region and Ethiopian federal government. Lastly, viewers, almost 10 days ago, more than 10 days ago, Ethiopian National Defense Force launched a major offensive supported by Amhara forces, and first air strikes were conducted, then ground operation was launched. What has happened so far? Is this ground offensive working? Uh, the offensive was launched to dislodge TDF from Amhara region. It was launched on four major fronts: Waldia, Gashina, then Ibnath, Emdevark, Wog Himra zone, and we can say that Dassi also. The purpose of this offensive was to push TDF back into Tigray. Airstrikes were conducted in Amhara, then ground operation followed. So far, on Waldia front, TDF was close to Marsa, but it has managed to push back Amhara forces, ENDF, towards Dassi. Now TDF is challenging Dassi. TDF was in TDF was in Haragobi, to the east of Waldia. It has managed to reach Shifra, far away from Waldia. Shifra is now under Tigray Defense Force. So on these two fronts, Waldia, Dassi, new offensive launched by Ethiopian National Defense Force. In terms of territorial gains, it has failed. No doubt about that, viewers. Gashina, volatile situation. ENDF made some gains close to Gashina. So far, these gains could not translate into any significant battlefield advantage so far. Same as Ibnath and Emdevark. TDF was pushed back from Emdevark, but what happened after that, we don't know, viewers. Did ENDF Amhara forces move towards Sikota? No confirmation that Sikota has been taken by ENDF and Amhara forces. Again, no tangible gains on Wag Himra front and Gashina. Though the two fronts, situation is fluid and volatile. Overall, we can sum up that so far this ground offensive has not worked. That is why airstrikes started. Ethiopian Air Force started airstrikes on Tigray. My position about the airstrikes is very clear. Tigray supporters don't like it, but my position is that ENDF has made a list of targets in Tigray, military camps, arms depots, training camps, logistic centers. It will definitely hit those places. Civilians are being killed, no doubt about that. No one is justifying these airstrikes. But Ethiopian Air Force is now trying to weaken Tigray Defense Force by conducting these airstrikes on TDF assets in Tigray. Will they work? They will not work in the absence of a large-scale ground operation. Ethiopian National Defense Force is not in a position to launch second invasion of Tigray now. It has suffered losses in terms of manpower, and it has been pushed back from Marsa towards Dassi. It's now saving Dassi. It was planning to push TDF out of Amhara, but now it's trying to save Dassi and Kambolja. That shows that I don't think ENDF and Amhara forces are in a position to challenge Tigray. Overall, we can sum up that first phase of ENDF offensive did not work. Second phase, ENDF airstrikes on Tigray underway. Don't think they would make any significant difference because you cannot win wars with airstrikes only. You need ground operations as well, and ENDF's capability to launch ground operation into Tigray has been weakened a lot. Third phase is yet to come. We'll talk about that in coming videos.